Looking to take your party to the next level? Big Easy Inflatables has you covered. Serving the greater New Orleans area, we're proud to be your local 5-star rated provider for bounce houses, water slides, and party rentals. From birthdays to big events, we bring the fun right to your backyard. Booking is simple. Just visit BigEasyInflatable.com or call or text at 504-270-1793. Call us today. Make your next celebration unforgettable with Big Easy Inflatables, where the party starts.
Excuse me. I love sports. But sometimes, like when a t-shirt cannon hits me square in the nachos, I wonder, is Sport Clips better than sports?
Because sports plus a hot steamed towel beats sports plus hot exploding cheese.
I like your shirt.
Thanks. It was free. Sport Clips. It's a game changer.
Grind Elite Threads. Greatness is earned, never given. Outfit your team today with football, basketball, baseball, softball uniforms. Plus, school basketball apparel such as hoodie, practice jerseys, custom bags. Join the community where passion meets performance. Visit grindfp.com or call Justin at 337-660-9300 to order now.
New Orleans parents, Coach Sky's back in the gym. We're having a welcome back Coach Sky special. That's 4 group classes for only $50. Those classes will focus on skill development, focus on discipline, and also enhancing confidence. But this special won't last long, 10 days. 10 days is all you got. 4 classes for $50. If you're interested, please call us, text us, email us, or go to our website. We look forward to seeing you in the gym real soon.
Cajun Graphics. Turn your idea into Cajun Graphics. Turn your ideas into eye-catching designs with Cajun Graphics. From custom t-shirts, team gear to business signs and vehicle wraps. We do it all Louisiana style. Fast, clean, and built to last. Cajun Graphics, where local pride meets bold design. We talk about it all the time, guys. If you've ever been to one of our events, you've seen the signage. Any of the signage that you see at our events is from Cajun Graphics. So if you're looking for something like that, some vehicle wraps, t-shirt designs, whatever you name it, they're going to claim it, man. Reach out to Jason over at Cajun Graphics, 225-333-8830. Check it out, basketball fans. With 19 sport clips across the state, there's one right near you. Look sharp, Louisiana, and get the MVP experience. Precision cut, shampoo, even throw on that hot steam towel. Step in today, leaving feeling like a champ. Sport Clips Haircuts. It's a game changer.
Elevate Next is where New Orleans athletes level up. We offer skills training, leagues, and camps designed to build confidence, sharpen fundamentals, and help your child stand out on the court. Our professional coaches focus on real development, discipline, technique, and the mindset to thrive. If your athlete is ready for the next level, this is the place.
Visit elevatenext.com or call 504-229-2591.
Bayou Sports, your home for everything Louisiana athletics. From big-time matchups to small-town rivalries, we cover the stories that matter to our communities. Scores, highlights, interviews, and behind-the-scene moments, all right here on Facebook. Stay connected, stay local, and support the athletes putting in the work. Bayou Sports, all local, all the time.
Red 93! Red 93! Sports are awesome. They're hot! But there are times, like when the QB pressure turns into hundreds of pounds of pressure on my spleen, that I wonder, is Sport Clips better than sports?
Because sports plus a neck and shoulder treatment beats sports plus dog piles.
Oh, that feels good on my spleen.
That's not where your spleen is.
It is now. Sport Clips. It's a game changer.
All right, man. Girls basketball fans across the state. The time is here, man. Quarterfinal basketball. Respectfully, in my opinion, man, there's nothing better than quarterfinal basketball, especially here in the state of Louisiana, man. So we are excited to get this conversation started. We appreciate everybody for joining us, man. If you haven't already, click the share button, share the stream. It's free, doesn't cost a thing, man. Just click the share button. Tag some people, let them know we are live. We'll be live. We're talking about all things girls basketball here in the state of Louisiana. Got a couple games, I believe 2 games that were already take place in today, but every other game, 38 other games will be played tomorrow, where the winner of that will advance to Hammond for the Final Four. The bracket has not been released, as far as the dates have not been released for that, but those games will be Tuesday through Saturday in Hammond, America, or so we like to say. But guys, if you haven't already, man, comment below. Let us know what game you'll be at tomorrow. A lot of big time games. I do want to get the live stream links going, so I'll probably post that after this. There's gonna be a lot of live streams going on, so just want to kind of post that in case anyone wants to watch some of those games. And yeah, man. But Coach Golad, man, what's your thoughts, man? How you feeling on this Christmas Eve before one of the best days in basketball, man?
And man, it's playoffs. For us, it's what we do, right? Me and you, every year after year, we find ourselves here on the eve of teams punching their ticket to Hammond, right? That's what it's all about. Girls basketball at its finest in the state of Louisiana.
Man, I love it, dude. Hey, it's so awesome. Seems like even more so this year than ever before, man. We got people from all over the state. So we really appreciate you guys for tuning in. Appreciate you guys for tagging people like this person here, sharing the stream. And we really appreciate everyone for being part of the conversation, man. As it gets closer and closer, sometimes in years past, we feel like we've fallen off with the number of people, but the people that are locked in and still interested are even more invested than ever before, man. So, look, we really appreciate everybody, all the comments. But we will get started. Coach Tracy's going to join us a little bit later. But, man, let's start off with Division I non-select. Your defending state champs, Zachary Lady Broncos, take care of business against Walker. You had called that one. I thought it might be a little bit closer than that. But, man, that Zachary defense is one of, if not the best, half-court man-to-man defensive teams in the state, man. They got so much length. Anchored down there with Asia Bell. You got Ava that's long. You got just a lot of young ladies that are very, very long, lanky, and just attention to detail on the defensive end, man. And to hold Walker to 25 is very, very impressive. And they're going to take on Natchitoches Central. We had called that one was Natchitoches Central went on the road to upset Destrehan. What's your thoughts on that one, man? In order to be the man, you got to beat the man. Any chance the Lady Chiefs can go on the road and win at Zachary?
Man, it's gonna be tough. Natchitoches got some good pieces. And much shout out respect to them. You know what I mean? But man, I got to go with Zachary on that. Like you said, their defense is just relentless. But every time these two play, they found each other playing each other over the past few years, man, and it's always been close. It's never just been a blowout. I don't think. I may be mistaken, but Natchitoches has found themselves in it. So I'm not gonna count them all the way out. If anybody can go on the road and beat Zachary, I would say Natchitoches. But I'm gonna have to hang my hat on Zachary. Miss Coach Tammy has done a great job just getting her team in this spot. Losing all of what they lost last year, coming off a state title, people thought they would have fallen off, and they've keeping it rolling. I knew they were gonna. I thought they would beat Walker. Didn't think they would beat Walker.
And guys in the comments, let us know who do y'all think will advance here in these 4 games. But like you said, this is a rematch of last year's quarterfinal game. Natchitoches Central saw themselves going to Zachary last year as well. Scores 59-45, a 14-point lead there, win by Zachary. Man, it's all roads lead through the Lady Broncos. Let's put it that way. And what's even more impressive is if you flip over to the boys bracket, the defending state champs is also in the same colors, the same gym. So they'll have a first round playoff game on Friday. They'll have the girls quarterfinal game I'm sorry, they will have a bye in the first round. So they have a bye on Friday. But man, both programs, both sides, just continuing to raise the bar and set the bar here in Division One. As Zachary is the one seed in the boys, the one seed in the girls as well. I'm in agreement with you, man. I just think the defense that Zachary puts out on the court night in, night out. If you're not getting to the foul line somehow, trying to find a way to get to the free throw line, if you're not finding a way to create some easy buckets, whether that's like baseline out of bounds or transition, whatever it is, man, it's going to be a tough night. And I don't think you're going to be able to score in the 50s against Zachary. And then on the flip side, that they've got enough firepower and just kids that can flat out score the basketball. So I look for a very similar score to last year, 59-45, if not even a better defensive performance by Zachary. But Zachary cruises to the Final Four. We'll see them back in Hammond. And we're going down to the bottom side, man. We're going to have a new face in town as Terrebonne makes it to the quarterfinals for the first time in program history. Definitely something to keep an eye on. Neville last year was upset in the second round, and heck, they were also upset in the first round the year before that. So is this the year that Neville gets that monkey off their back? I'm a big fan of Neville. Like I said, I've seen them. I love the style of play that they have. I think that's a better matchup for Terrebonne than Sulphur. A shout out to Terrebonne going on the road and winning at Sulphur in what was a dogfight, 34-32. But I think Terrebonne matches up better with Neville. That style of play, that's going to be a fun game. Man, I don't know. I'm leaning towards Neville, and like I said, I believe they have 8 upperclassmen, so leaning towards the experience. But if history tells us anything, man, Neville is definitely going to be on upset alert, as they were upset in the first round 2 years ago, upset in the second round last year. Do they get upset in the quarterfinals this year? Does the historic run of Terrebonne continue? What's your thoughts on that game, man?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with you, man. I know different association, you get a neutral association, but man, going to Neville and playing in that gym is just tough. I've been a coach in that gym, and it's just so tough to play in that gym. And I think Terrebonne's going to have to. You're already a 12 seed going up against a 4 seed. That's even big enough mountain to climb. But to go into that gym, and they're probably going to have it rocking. So I got to go Neville and the experience, as you said too, as well. I was looking at that matchup until I saw Terrebonne won, and I was like, uh-oh, Neville's gonna have to run into Sulphur again, because Sulphur's the one that beat them last year, I think. Yeah.
Yep.
And then Terrebonne made the upset. So yeah, I think like you said, I think Neville probably whew, sigh of relief when they saw Terrebonne won. But I wouldn't sleep on Terrebonne. They got a kid that's been rocking and rolling, right? And she's gotten them this far. So yeah, but I'm gonna lean Neville.
I mean, Terrebonne is a team that people are going to need to keep an eye on for years to come. They made a little bit of a run last year. I was calling that they would make it to the quarterfinals early in the season. I didn't know it was going to be a 2-point on the road win that was going to get them to the quarterfinals. I think they're playing with house money at this point. Win, lose, or draw. It was the best season ever in Terrebonne history. But man, they have a great balance of young talent, both at the forward position and the guard position, combined with sprinkling in the seniority. And it just seems like that team is continuing to gel, continuing to gel, continuing to gel. And man, they may catch lightning in a bottle here. And I also think that both these teams do match up with Zachary. Being on the big stage and finding a way to score points will be very, very important. But both these teams match up with Zachary, athletic ability, getting up and down, players that can make plays defensively as well. But man, just I don't know how I don't know how either of these three teams are going to find a way to score, the 40 and 50 points against Zachary night in, night out. But, man, we'll definitely see, guys. Y'all let us know in the comments, what do y'all see? Do y'all see Zachary, Neville, or what do y'all see on this side of the bracket? We'll move on to the bottom half of the bracket. Man, one game I'm really looking forward to, I think that's going to be the game I'm going to go to, is Dillon Springs at Slidell. That is Chapter 4. And I want to give a special shout-out, man, to Dillon Springs TV, and that is a program that's ran by the students. It's a class, and they just do such a fantastic job, man, promoting. They did where they followed along the girls 2 years ago. They did where they do the graphics, the highlights, the videos, everything, and they're the ones that are calling that the Chapter 4. And they got a great reel. We shared it, man. Give those guys a shout out. And, hey, everyone else, man, take advantage of that. Take a look at that stuff. Get out there and man, watch some of these guys and what it is that they're doing at the high school level. That's student athletes as well. So let's see. I look like we may have lost Coach Golad. You back? There we go. I got you. Let me see. And cool. But what's your thoughts, man? What's your thoughts on this part of the bracket, man? I'm really excited about that bottom part. But Prairieville also, first time ever in the quarters. Granted, it's a new school, but what's your thoughts here?
Oh yeah, shout out to Selma, man. Made us look wrong there. They handled Parkway, and sources that were at the game said they kind of controlled the game from start to go. That surprised me a little bit there. But shout out to them for getting there to play Prairieville. Prairieville looked like they're on a mission. You know what I mean? They look 2 years in existence, and here they are in the quarterfinals already. Look like they're on a mission, man. But I got Prairieville in that one. I'm not going away from that one. Even if Parkway had made it to the third round there, I was going to pick Prairieville to go on to the semifinals. But this is the game, like you just said, that I'm interested in, man. Denham Springs and Slidell. I think we may have been sleeping on Denham Springs a little bit. Coach just seems to always get his team here. They made it through the quarterfinals last year, and they had to play us, had to come up to Bossier City, and we got past them fairly. And here it is again. They're now in the quarterfinals with a chance to go back to Hammond. This program ain't going anywhere, and it seems like every year we're talking about Denham Springs Slidell, right?
Yep.
Denham Springs Slidell. I wouldn't be surprised, man. You cannot overlook Denham Springs, and I'm not gonna overlook Denham Springs. I'm gonna go Denham Springs on that one.
Going with the upset, man. I like it. Guys, y'all let us know in the comments what's y'all's thoughts on Chapter 4. So for those that don't know, like we said, this is the fourth year in a row that Denham Springs and Slidell has met. Backtrack 4 years ago, and this is the fourth year. 4 years ago, Slidell went on the road and upset Denham Springs at Denham Springs. Then then the roles were reversed. Denham Springs has got them the last 2 years. It was one of those things like, hey, this is the team that knocked us out. Payback, rematch. Now I'm leaning towards Slidell on the other side. That I think Denham Springs is the hottest team in the state, regardless of classification. So if anybody can, knock off the same team 3 years in a row, it is definitely Denham Springs. But man, Slidell is I think again, whenever you get knocked in the mouth a couple times, and that's the same team that's knocked you out 2 years in a row, when you get to the weight room, we're doing this extra rep for Denham Springs. Whenever you're leaving the gym, I'm making 10 extra shots for Denham Springs. Whenever I'm doing a down and backs, I'm doing 2 more down and backs for Denham Springs. Like that's the mindset that I'm having whenever I'm in the gym and it's my team. If Slidell is my team, they're gonna be sick and tired of hearing about Denham Springs and the purple and gold and the yellow jackets. So whenever they see those guys walk into the building, man, they like that's what we wanted. That's what we worked for. We're not dodging anybody in order to get to where we want to be, to the top 28, where we've been trying to get there for 2-3 years now. I want to go through the team that's knocked us out the last 2 years. So if I'm Slidell, I love this matchup. Now, with that being said, on the other side of the coin, man, Dylan Springs is freaking hot, man. Like Coach Jake's talking about here, defense travels, and Dylan Springs defends at a high level, man. And you talked about it a lot, man. I want to give a special shout out to Coach Rudy and what he's done over there, man. Coach Rudy has elevated that program to a whole nother level. Dylan Springs is considered one of the top programs year in, year out. And he came up through the middle school ranks, coaching and just really grinding the sword in the middle school, and has just gotten better year in, year out as a coach. And man, they're reaping the benefits now. And what it is, it's a lot of unseen hours. And I'll talk about this a little bit. Walker does it as well. There's a lot of teams in that area that are really good. Jake does it as well, man. Guys that are just always in the gym, but Dylan Springs really got into the community. They really started doing a lot of free trainings on Sundays and getting the high school players to help work with the middle schools and really inviting the middle schools. And there was just a huge community there. And then these kids were seeing the high school players and the success that they were having, and the transition was so much easier from middle school to high school. So I want to give a special shout out to Rudy and his staff, man. Coach Mike is now at Marpol, but man, those two guys, Coach Piku as well, and just the growth that they've made in the last 5 to 6 years has definitely been behind the scenes. But man, they're really reaping the benefits right now, and I don't think Dylan Springs is going anywhere. Like you said, this is supposed to be a down year for them. Shout out to Coach Joe, man. Coach Joe in the building representing Slidell. We already know Slidell could be a 15 seed. He's gonna put them on the map. But what's this comment here? It says Slidell's tough. If Slidell's big has a good game, it'll open up the jumpers. If they shut her down, it'll be a tough night for Slidell. Saw it personally when they played the Hammond Tours. Hey, that's a great comment, man. We really appreciate the feedback from anybody. Definitely appreciate the feedback. And man, shout out to Salmon, man. Salmon had a great year, the best year they've had since young lady by the name of Kalani Brown and Megan Brown were both on the same team. Kalani went on to Baylor. Megan Brown went on to have a historic career at Southern Miss. So it's been a while since they've been in the mix, but opportunities don't go away. They just go to somebody else. And Salmon's definitely got an opportunity tomorrow night. But I do see Prairieville as that team that will advance there. And like you said, man, shout out to Salmon, man, for putting us on watch as well with proving us wrong, man, proving us wrong. Coach Joe riding deep with Slidell. Salmon and Slidell is not too far from each other, man. Same district. So they have two teams in the same district this deep in it. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. But yeah, guys, appreciate the comments. We're going to keep it moving. And we will move on to Division One Select, man. What are your thoughts here? John Curtis, Captain Shreve. I know we talked about it already. Captain Shreve losing one of their guards definitely makes this game a lot tougher, as guards do win games. And John Curtis has got some of the best of them. Two seniors, one going on, and Bailey going on to play at UL. Kiki, I'm not sure if Kiki's signed yet, but she'll play college basketball if she wants to. And man, they got two young cats as well that can rock and roll. So they got four-headed monster at the guard position. Captain Shreve, defense travels. What's your thoughts, man? LBR the North, man. You riding with the North, or you going with Curtis?
Well, Shreve plays in one of the toughest districts, as we always say, year in and year out. 1-5A. And, had to go through that gauntlet through Huntington, through Halton, through Parkway to win a share of the district title this year. Man, this is going to be a tough one to call. I know, Coach Green and Coach Houston and what they do in that program to get it back to, talking about Shreves as a powerhouse in 5A. You know what I mean? When 2 state titles with the kids that they had back then. Fell off, but they rebuilt it, and they did it the right way, right? They just put their head down and rebuilt it, and now we're talking about Captain Shreve again, right? The last time they won it, I think they won it at the 9th seed, right? Here they are sitting at the 8th seed, I believe, right? Yep. So if anybody can show them that they've done it over the years, it's Captain Shreve. So I'm gonna stay away from that game. My heart tells me to go Captain Shreve, but you cannot count out John Curtis at all, right? I'll leave that one to you to pick. But if I had to flip a coin, man, yeah, it's gonna be tough. It's just will Shreve be able to go on the road and play in an environment like that, with them still being sophomores, right? Their stars kind of are sophomores.
Yeah.
When you have Broken Berry is a sophomore, Jocelyn is a sophomore, right? But what gets lost in the shuffle is Shreve has two seniors that are bulldogs on defense. They will get after you. And if those two have just the game that they normally have, Shreve has a chance here. Yeah, so they're gonna have to get out the John Cutter's guard.
You know, we had tried to put a lot of people on notice last year with Shreve as they were the 11 seed, and you know they went on the road. They after a home win. This was last year. They had a home win against Ben Franklin. Went on the road and won at Chappelle. Then they went on the road at Woodlawn, and that was an 8-point game. So they had a shot down the stretch, could not pull it out. But that's what you're talking about. That's whenever those guys were freshmen there. Um, Shreve, we definitely expected to see them a little bit higher seed and possibly dodge John Curtis here in the quarterfinals. But nonetheless, in order to be the man, you got to beat the man. So they'll have to go through John Curtis. And like this comment here says, man, they got 4 guys that can flat out fill it up at any time. So Shreve is another good team. Shreve, Curtis, Zachary, I've kind of put them all in the same mix as far as teams that just kind of get in your grill and really lock up man to man. So that's going to be a really fun game. That's not a game I would like to officiate for sure. That's something that I would kind of keep an eye on. Curtis doesn't exactly have the most depth. So foul trouble or something like that. I think if Shreve's chance are going to have to come and punch him in the mouth, possibly have the lead, you know, into the first, single-digit score at halftime, let things get a little tight. I think that'll give them an opportunity. But as far as top to bottom, man, Captain Shreve's got their hands full. John Curtis is definitely just elite at the guard position. You know, maybe Jocelyn has some success early, gets a guy or two in foul trouble, and really gets going. 20 and 20 point performance rebound from Jocelyn would be huge. I don't know, man. If I'm Curtis, I really don't like this matchup, but having it at home and having the 4 guards, I'll definitely take my chances. But yeah, I see Curtis advancing. And hey, shout out to Curtis, man. They do a good job at their home games. So that's gonna be a good, fun environment. Hopefully, the student section comes out and shows up. And again, John Curtis on the boys' side is one of the top teams in the state as well. They'll be fighting for a state championship as well. Moving down to the bottom half, you got your boy Coach Jimmy, man, and Ash letting us know what was up, man, as they went on the road. And upset alert, man. Can they do it again? We've been ranting and raving about Huntington, Raspberry Lane. What's your thoughts on that, man? Again, shout out to Ash as they lost to Curtis last year. Kind of had them a little bit on the ropes, but game got away from them late in the second quarter, early third. Can Ash go on the road and get it done again, man? What's your thoughts?
Hey man, shout out to Coach Jimmy, man. Great game plan, I guess. And I had sources inside the gym that were texting me during the game and updating me on the score. And they pretty much at one point, Ash was in control. Got up by like 15, I think, at one point or something like that. So that shocked me. I thought if they could beat Acadiana and the style that Corey Arnold played, it would be a close game. Score ended up being 6 points, but sources the bigs from Alexander just had their way. And that's gonna be a key tomorrow night at Raspberry Lane. Is can Jimmy's big, can Alexander's big have their way? I know Huntington have the big kid down low, right? But she's only one, and I've seen Huntington play on multiple times, and then she gets in foul trouble here and there, not all every game. So if Ash's bigs go to work and they just grind it out inside, it could be a long night from Huntington. But I ain't picking against them. I gotta go up in the 6801 I'll never be able to walk up into that again. Jimmy's my boy, and I love him, but I'm going Huntington on that one.
I love it, man. No, Huntington is your defending state champs. So in order to beat a man, you got to beat the man. Man, what about the matchup in the next round? If it is Huntington, John Curtis, it's kind of got us in trouble a little bit with Ash last time. We started looking ahead at the Acadiana and Huntington matchup. But hey, we might as well start a pot while we're here, man. What's your thoughts on the Huntington John Curtis matchup in Hammond, which was a rematch of last year's?
Huntington Jack semis.
Yep.
Yep. Rematch of last year's semis, and it goes down to the wire. Carly Hamilton came up big in that game the last time, right? I think that's
Yep.
the game that Kendall went to the line and had to make the free throws, right? I think so.
Yep.
Yeah. So, again, as you said, Curtis has the guards, right? Huntington's guards outside of Kendall Graham are kind of young. So if you lean, yes, Huntington has Kendall Graham, but if you're going guards, that's just looks like they're top to bottom. It will be Curtis's guards, and as we always say, guards win games, man. Kendall's Graham's gonna do what she's gonna do, and she's not gonna let her career end out. She's gonna go out on her shield. She's gonna go out. Kaylee down low is gonna do her thing down low, and bang, she had a monster game against Woodlawn, right? So Curtis is gonna have to deal with her down low. Can they stop her? I don't know. Can they keep Kendall Graham in check? But the key is going to be, can Huntington's other guards rise their game to play with Curtis' other guards? So we'll see that.
I love it, man. That's good feedback. Man, we'll move. We'll keep it going, man. We did have a conversation, man. Somebody had posted. Coach Bobby Sylvia had posted about cutting the nets down and his thoughts on that. What are your thoughts here on cutting down the nets in the quarterfinals? I kind of know where I stand. I was just curious what your thoughts were on cutting down the nets after winning quarterfinal home game. Signifying that you're going to the top 40 or top Final Four.
Well, I think it's an experience. I got to experience the last 2 years there at Parkway where we cut down the nets, man. In front of your crowd is around, and you get to cut down those nets and say, "Hey, we've done it for this far. We've protected home court. We've done it, and we're able to now. Let's see if we can go cut the ones down and come back and cut that other one down on the other end in a week." You know what I mean? And so I think that's the challenge of it. It's sweet. The kids, memories, photos. It's what you work for in that gym when you practice day in and day out in that gym, and you get to climb that ladder, man, and cut that net down and say, "Hey, but we're not done. Let's see if we can come back and cut the other end down in a week."
Yeah, I echo that. I think that's definitely the way to go. You cut down one net, like you said. You really enjoy the experience. You enjoy the night because hey, we're back at it. These games will be on Thursday. People will be playing in the semifinals on Tuesday, so you do get like a little 4-day break or whatever. But you do enjoy that night, man. But I mean, the grind is so long, especially in basketball, man. Like you're starting this from May of last year, going all the way through, maybe taking 1 month off break here or there. But man, it's pedal to the metal all the way through. Basketball is the worst with going through all these holidays and everything else, man. So enjoy the moments, man. Enjoy the rides. I did want to bring that up, man. I definitely recommend cutting down the net, having that ready, having that experience. I'm huge on student athlete experience, man. And I've got a picture when we had cut ours down one year, and I had my son with me. So I mean that's something that I'll cherish forever as well, man. So it's definitely a memory. I definitely suggest and recommend that everyone does that, and you are prepared for that moment. Like you said, man, leave that other one up, man. Leave that other one up for whenever y'all come back. You can celebrate. If you do happen to win the state championship, you can celebrate that one as well. But yeah, let's move it down to the bottom half of the bracket, man. The best draw in the entire bracket out of all 10 brackets. St. Joseph Scotlandville rematch. Scotlandville came away with the win in a dogfight last time that they made district opponents here. And you got Terrellins Catholic and Liberty, the 18 seed in the quarters. Man, what's your thoughts on this bottom half of the bracket here, man? Do you see Scotlandville advancing, St. Joseph back to the top 28, or you see 18 seed? Any chance we get an 18 seed in the Final Four? What's your thoughts?
I definitely think the 18 seed will get there. I think that, and hey, Sterling Scott, don't hang me, don't kill me for it, but I'll go with that the Cinderella story, just strictly on the Cinderella story of the 18 seed getting to, Hammond. What a story Coach Wilson will have if she's able to do that with this team, right? Like you said, when those bracket came out, she has been the most luckiest coach in Louisiana with her draw, right? She absolutely should have loved her draw when she saw this. Shout out to Ponchatoula for making it a close game. I knew Coach Patricia would throw the kitchen sink at Scotlandville, right? And Scotlandville and Coach Bree were able to weather the storm to just, hey, the object of the objective at the end of the night is to have one more point than the opponent, right? And that's what Scotlandville was able to do. I don't know too much about the game. I didn't see it, but you could just tell Coach Patricia threw everything at them, and Coach Bree and those freshmen were able to weather the storm. No disrespect when I say that. I say that with the most utmost Bree and those freshmen, because for doing what they're doing at a young age, man, we're gonna be talking about Scotlandville for the next 3-4 years.
Absolutely, man. What Yeah, shout out to St. Joseph, man. Like I said, time and time again, and I think I went back and like I was looking at my notes and stuff. It was Minna Ramito that had taken over at St. Joseph. I think that was whenever they had nobody that played AAU. Shout out to Minna. She had went on to back to her alma mater and be assistant coach with Corey Arnold. They made some great runs at Walker. Now she's the head coach at Barb. Minna kind of tried to get the ship right over there, and then Coach Tim had ran in behind her, man, and he's been rocking and rolling ever since, man. I love the style of play that they play, man. Very fundamental, move the basketball. Everybody touches it. Everybody's impacting the game. Man, that's gonna be a fun game, dude. And I'll ask you this: as a coach, obviously you got the home game here. You probably would rather be St. Joseph. Would you rather have won that last game of the year, lost that last game of the year? St. Joseph lost at Scotlandville. I think it was about 1 point. What's your thoughts on that? 38-37. Would you have rather won that game, lost that game? What's your thoughts?
Man, you always want to win games. You always want to win games. I think the hype has been around. I think in this sense, that game, and everybody has drawn attention to Scotlandville and what they're doing with the kids that she had. I think more pressure probably would be on Scotlandville right now. So honestly, if I'm St. Joe's, I'm like, hey, the pressure's on them. Everybody's picking them to beat us. You know what I mean? They should be this 3 seed. We should be the 6 because everybody's picking them, right? So if I'm St. Joseph's coach, I'm like, hey, we're just gonna do us, be good at what we do, and let the chips fall where we may. I think Coach Bree has the most pressure to get her kids, being so young, to understand the magnitude of a quarterfinal game and what does it mean. I know, to be here. I don't know if Coach Bree wasn't. I think this is our first time too on the quarterfinal level too as a young coach as well. So they both, player and coach, coming in young to this, new to this stage. I forget if I won or lost. The pressure, I think, is more on Scotlandville for them to perform, and everybody's picking them and saying, hey, we're gonna be talking about Scotlandville for the next 3 years. But hey, they got to get past number 3 seed right here tonight. I mean
No
tomorrow
doubt,
night.
man. That's a good point. St. Joseph, if they do happen to get past Scotlandville, we're talking a lot about Liberty. They've already beat Liberty as well. So it's like, St. Joseph, at the end of the day, really, like we said, everyone over here loves their draw. So St. Joseph definitely loves their draw. They've made it to the Final Four. Now, this is several years ago, but, can rely on a little bit of experience, both coach, team. I'm not sure if anyone was on the team now that's on the court, but can definitely rely on some history per se. But man, I expect St. Joseph to have a huge crowd there. All girls school. Like I said, this is the largest school in the state. Whenever you double the population there, I expect them to have a huge crowd. I expect everyone to kind of rally behind that group. Scotlandville is going to be down by probably double digits before the game starts off. Can they weather the storm? Can they calm everybody down? I'm picking Scotlandville just because I respect both coaches tremendously in this group, both Coach Bree and Coach Tim. But man, I just what Coach Bree had to go through at JS Clark, man, and not to get under all that BS. But man, respectfully, I hope that she gets to experience the Final Four and the runs. And it's just so hard, man. Like you look at Ash and the difficulty that they've had over the last several years in the quarterfinals. Like these opportunities are tough. They don't come around very often. Terrence Catholic, getting an opportunity. St. Joe's their first opportunity in I think 3 or 4 years. So it's like these opportunities don't come around very, very often. And that she was robbed of the opportunity the last time, and she had set everything up. Man, that's why I'm rooting for Scotlandville. My heart's telling me that. My head's probably telling me St. Joseph is, like I said, to win on the road. You got to be 10 points better in the quarterfinals. And we've only shown that they were only 1 point better. So St. Joseph is probably the favorite here. But respectfully to both and everybody involved, man, I just want Coach Bree to experience the gratitude of making it to the Final Four. And, she deserves that. And, their time will come. If it doesn't come tomorrow night, the time will come. They're definitely doing the right things day in, day out. And they'll reap the benefits eventually.
And
But go ahead.
and and I'll echo what you say, man. Being a coach, being in the quarterfinals as a head coach, and coming up short to Lafayette when I was at Southwood. But you walk away, and I knew that night, hey, Lafayette was the better team tonight. You know what I mean? And but then going over the Parkway and able to experience it again, as and getting to the state championship game and winning in it, and and then getting back. And then this year, transitioning to over to Lakeview, and we have a down year, and it's like you got to appreciate those moments because getting there is hard. And and you're in the moment, and you're winning it, and you're like, okay, we're doing it. But then you got to sit back and you got to understand when you have a down year like I did this year that man, listen, it's hard to get there, and it's hard to win a state title. So like you said, what she's went through, put her head down last year, just said, I'm going to build this team. And then now she's knocking on the door to say, give me what's rightfully mine. Shout out to her, man. We occasionally talk on, I'll hit her up and say, hey, coach, how's it going? And, and so shout out to her in Scotlandville, man. Go get it, both of those coaches. And like you said, enjoy the moment.
Yep, no doubt. And like these comments here talking about St. Joseph being young, man. Hey, I definitely can see that. I haven't had a chance to get eyes on you guys, but man, like the job that again Coach Tim's done building that program to where people would not come out. Like there's a very prominent volleyball program over there, so people wouldn't come out for basketball. And then not only are they not coming out for basketball, but now they're coming out for basketball in woes, like right. So like, he's got a JV team, varsity team. They're playing multiple times. Like they would always come to our event at Southern Lab. So man, shout out to St. Joseph and the program that they have built over there. And I definitely agree with the comments, man. Keep eyes on St. Joseph. They're young as well, man. They're a program for sure. Coach, man, appreciate you for jumping in here with us. Let's see if we get him in here. Coach Tracy, what's going on, man?
Oh, nothing much. Trying to get ready for the game tomorrow.
Yes, sir. We know that's right, man. We appreciate you, man. We're in bottom half of Division One Select. Terrence Catholic and Liberty. Liberty is the 18 seed. Really think they got a shot at this one. Terrence Catholic, man, with the sisters though, the large point guard, big size, lanky size, and then their sister down low, man. They've definitely got an opportunity, and they're surrounded with some kids that get after it, man. Terrence Catholic is not going to be an easy team. Again, Liberty will have to be 10 points better to go on the road and win that one. Man, my heart's telling me to root for Liberty and just the 18 seed, but my head is saying, man, Terrence Catholic at home with those sisters, man, it's gonna be tough, man. It's gonna be tough. Senior heavy team as well. Man, what's your thoughts here? Is Liberty gonna come away with this one and keep the party, the train going, or Terrence Catholic gonna end in the Cinderella story?
You on me or you on me
Yeah,
or
yeah.
coach?
Go ahead,
Or
go let.
oh yeah. So as I said, man, I'm gonna root for Liberty. You know more about Turtle Cactus than I'm gonna root for Liberty and Coach Wilson just on the Cinderella story here, man. When they have I've never seen a seed this high make it to heaven, man. So I'll probably if Turling's Catholics win, I'll probably still sign at him and say, what you picked against us or something like that. I don't know. So so let it be fuel for the fire. But shout out to Coach Wilson and what she's doing at Liberty, man. They go in there and upset the number 2 seed, man. You got to just respect it, and I'm going to ride with Liberty.
And, on the flip side, of it, man,
Ride
shout out
or
Terrence Catholic. Terrence Catholic was a 17 seed last year. Put in a bunch of good games. Won basketball games at the end of the day, like we talked about, man. At the end of the day, you got to win the games in front of you, man. And Terrence Catholic won a lot of them. Their last loss was to North Vermilion, and before that, they haven't lost a game since January 5th. So only one loss coming into this one. So they're riding a lot of momentum. It's the Senegals is the two sisters that we definitely should be keeping an eye on. The big inside and the point guard, man. How are you going to slow them down? If I'm Liberty, that's going to be the question. If you can slow down those two guys, then you got to have an opportunity. If they're combining for 30 points and 15 rebounds, it's going to be a long night. But all roads are going to lead through Terrence Catholic, man. My heart's telling me to go with Liberty in the Cinderella story, but my head's telling me Terrence Catholic. Coach Tracy, man, you got any feedback or any thoughts on Division One, man, before we move along?
No, sir. I haven't seen any of them play. I know Turlings, like you said, has sisters that are pretty good. I have not seen Liberty play at all.
All right, man. We'll keep it moving, guys. Guys, we really appreciate all the comments. Definitely goes a long ways, man. One of the fun ones we got going on right here, man, Sterlington. And we got our way going on the road at Waspin. Sterlington's been one of the top teams in the state, have definitely made some noise. A team that kind of came out of nowhere has played at the JSE last summer, had a really good showing at the JSE, and caught some eyes over there, but really built that momentum from the summer and been rocking and rolling ever since, man. They're rightfully the 1 seed, and with being the 1 seed, you got a little bit easier of a way through the quarterfinals. I see Sterlington advancing there, and I guess that's going to get us down to Iowa versus Waspin. But man, shout out to West Feliciana. West Feliciana always finds a way to get to the quarterfinals, it seems like. Year in, year out, man. Another team that just finds a way to win games throughout the regular season, gets themselves a great seed, and they win home games, man. And here they are, quarterfinals, another year. What's your thoughts on the top part of this bracket, Coach Golat, and what you see, man?
Hey, yeah. So I'll go Sterlington as well with you. I agree with you on that. Man, how away can I get away from Wiseman? You know what I mean? We say that. We've been saying that the last 3 shows. And Coach Courtney, I know she's gonna have her team ready. I know they're coming. They're upping. But I mean, Wiseman is Wiseman. No matter whether they have what's supposed to be, everybody thought it was going to be a down year. Yeah, they have the 4 beside their name, and they're not the 1 seed this year, but they're still Wiseman. And those kids are going. Taylor and Weeks are going to, I think, rise up and show people that they're, it just wasn't Wilson and Augustin last year. So I'm gonna go Wiseman right here.
And rematch of last year's semifinals. They're in the quarterfinals, Iowa versus Waspin. Wasserman was just a different freight train. Been here, done that, got that T-shirt. That was the semifinals. They had state championship on their mind. Iowa, new place, new scene, excited to be there. New kid on the block, young team, man, just got popped in the mouth. So as a coach, how do you rebound from that? How do you get your team motivated? That was the last taste in your mouth on the road last year, or not on the road, but in Hammond last year. How do you go on the road and prepare your team for what seems like to be the unbeatable team in this division? Coach Tracy, man, what's your thoughts there on Iowa and Wasserman?
Well, first of all, I agree with you. I think Sterlington. I would definitely pick Sterlington to win. Iowa Walsman, Courtney does a great job. She always has her teams ready. And I know Walsman's Walsman, and she'll have her team ready to play. But it would have probably been better if she would have met them in the semis at a neutral site than having to go to Walsman. But that would be an interesting game.
Definitely so, man. What's some if you're Iowa, y'all have any ideas or game plan? Like what's your game plan going in, trying to keep it close as long as possible? Man, forcing to make outside. See, the thing with Wasserman in the past is having Big Brittany on the inside. They could always hit buckets from the outside, and if they're off, they can just dump it inside to her, offensive rebound and different things like that. Not having that, I think if you can try to maybe force them to hit threes, maybe you'll have a little bit better of a chance. Like what's y'all's thoughts? Like what has Wasserman struggled with, if anything? I guess we're trying to find chinks in the armor. I mean, they've been invincible here lately, but what's y'all's thoughts?
Well, go ahead, Coach.
No, you go ahead, Coach. You go ahead.
No, I mean, Iowa played multiple times. I know they're not a real deep team, and they struggle sometimes offensively, but they have a little bit of physicality to them and size-wise that could cause them some problems. To that point, they will get it up and down the floor. Courtney's daughter, AB, shoots it really well. But I think the big difference for them is going to be defense, whether or not they can defend in order for them to stay close.
What kind of game? I
Yeah.
mean, this game's got to be in like the 40s or the 50s for them to have a chance, I would say.
I would agree with that.
Yeah. Looking at common opponents, and they both played LeGrand. All right, and Iowa come up short to LaGrange by 4. Wiseman beats LaGrange by 15. So I think that's not going to tell us what type of game we're going to get tomorrow night. But I'll tell if giving Courtney advice like she did call me last, if you can catch him off on a bad night, you know what I mean. If you can catch Weeks on a bad night, you can catch Taylor not hitting her shots, you know what I mean. You can catch the other guards just not on. I think Weeks going to be the key here, though. If you can contain Heaven Weeks, one of the top girls in the state, I think you might have a shot, and we can keep the score low. I think Iowa has a shot here.
Yeah, not man.
Well, I
I
know
agree with.
Iowa, last year played. I'm sorry, but
No, go
Iowa
ahead.
last year played South Beauregard, slowed it down, and kept it really close. And I think they have enough guards to be able to control the tempo, and that's what they're going to have to do.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, in the comments here, talking about Wassums playing fast, aggressive. I agree with everything. I'm just saying, like, how do you beat the team that's going for 5 in a row? And we're splitting hairs at this point. But I think it's gonna have to be a low scoring game to give themselves a chance. Especially like you're talking about going on the road and winning. You're gonna need the game to be in the 40s, be ideally. Probably gonna try to have to slow the game down a little bit, get a little physical with them. I think you're gonna have to force them to shoot jumpers, man. Like you're talking about running the offense through Weeks. I think that's a good idea too. I think my Scout would be all eyes on Weeks. Like when Weeks has the basketball, we got 10 eyes on her. And that's not to say that Weeks is not going to dish it off, but I would force her to dish it off and force somebody else to beat us. And kid's got great vision, man. I mean, you're talking about trying to do something that no one's done in the last 5 years. So they're gonna have their hands full. Definitely got a puncher's shot. Definitely had some experience from last year making it to the Final Four. So definitely have that opportunity. I think Wasserman is just locked in, man. But yeah, man, we'll move it on to the bottom half of the bracket. North Vermilion, another home quarterfinal game. We talked about cutting the nets down, man. Is there any chance North Vermilion can finally cut these nets down and make it to Hammond? Talking about with Coach Jack. Coach Jack always comes to the state championship games. I always see him there, man. But can he bring his team with him this time? Will North Vermilion outlast South Bow? South Bow, I picked North Vermilion here. South Bow has been known to crack the crystal ball. Will they crack the crystal ball again? And then you go down to the bottom part. Again, a rematch of a couple years ago where Laranja went to Albany in the quarterfinals. And one of the Lagrange's best players tore ACL early. And Albany just kind of ran away with that one. Is this kind of payback here? Do you see Lagrange cruising on through that one? What's y'all's thoughts here, man? Coach Golak, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay with Lagrange. I made that prediction 2 shows ago. That we would crown Lagrange in the end, and I ain't backing off of it. Wilson will probably kill me if they beat Lagrange in the finals or whatever. But I'll live with it. The crystal ball is wrong, right? So, but it's all respect for Coach Rob and those girls at Wiseman. But Coach Lakeem Coach Holm has done a good job. Like you said, man, just keeping this program afloat and going. We talked about them. They won back-to-back state titles years ago, right? Had all those D1 kids, right? And now he didn't shy away from the down years. He just did it the right way, kept building. Now he's the 2 seed, right? We kept talking about him year in and year out. Hey, Lagrange's coming. And now they got I think, have a good chance of cutting down the nets and being state champions again. So shout out to him. As he always say, he's told everybody over the years, just keep the same energy. We may be down. Talking about us, just keep the same energy because we're not going to be down for long, right? And so here they, all those hours have paid off.
Coach Stretch, you got some anything you want to add to the bottom half of that bracket?
Well, the South Beauregard North Vermilion game, that's going to be, like I said, complete opposites. South Beauregard wants to push the tempo. North Vermilion wants to slow it down. That's an interesting game. I think whoever controls the tempo is going to win that one. South Beauregard is physical. They're going to hit the boards hard. North Vermilion, at the same time, does a great job defensively. But I'm going to go to the bottom part of that, and Albany's going to have their hands full having to play Lagrange. Lakeem does a really good job with them on offense sometimes, but like I said, defense travels with you, and they're going to follow you, and he's going to have his team defensively ready to go. And I think I'd have to take Lagrange in that one.
I agree, man. It's going to be some good ones for sure, man. Again, guys, anybody in the comments, y'all comment, let us know your thoughts. And, man, it's exciting times, man. There's 40 teams will win, 80 teams left, 40 teams will advance. We do have 2 games that were played tonight. We're about to get to one of those actually here in a second. But common opponent was Sulphur for both North Vermilion and South Bow. And North Vermilion lost by 7, and South Bow lost by 22. So something to keep an eye on. Definitely very, very interesting. South Bow and Albany, man, just teams, like we say, tradition never graduates, man. So shout out to them, win, lose, or draw, to give your team an opportunity either at home or to go on the road, man, and play Cinderella again, man. That is a very, very cool story. So rooting for both of those programs. Really rooting for all four, man. Got a lot of respect for all four of these programs here. And seems like it's the same teams year in, year out fighting for a shot at the top 28 bid, man. So it's a lot of tradition in this part of the bracket and this division in general, with Wasserman going for 5 in a row. But we'll move it on to Division Two Select, top part of the bracket. Madison Prep versus Northside. We've been talking about Northside. Northside's a team. Northside actually defeated North Vermilion. That was their last loss of the year. So Northside definitely has some firepower. They got some kids that can create off the bounce and can score it. Would not be surprised if this game is either a blowout or super tight. I think Northside not being there before or not being there in recent past with this much on the line in the quarterfinals. And Coach Aaron's doing a great job over there. But Madison Prep's been here, done that, got that T-shirt. They're the 1 seed. They're definitely the favorite, but I would not be surprised if this game is a little bit closer than we may expect. Like I said, you see Northside scored 61 in their last game, so they definitely have the ability to fill it up, put some points on the board. This is an interesting one. I would definitely keep an eye on. And then at the bottom half of that bracket, you got Carver versus Buckeye. Someone in the comments earlier had earlier in the previous show had talked about one of the assistants from Carver Boys is taking over the girls, taking that program to another level. They got a big win in the first round over Willow, but man, Buckeye is good, man. I saw that Buckeye versus Laranja game on 446 on the YouTube channel. Buckeye was in complete control, and then they only scored 1 point or maybe 2 points in the last 7 minutes. And Laranja came storming back. But Izzy Cross is a name that I would throw out there. I think she's got a possibility, chance of playing at the next level. And if anybody can go on the road, man, Buckeye's got the depth. You got Izzy Cross can score down low, can anchor the defense. Buckeye is not a very good draw for Carver. So Buckeye's going to travel. Carver's going to have to really show out. I definitely give the advantage to the home team to a lot of these games. But again, both these matchups I feel can be a lot closer. I would put Carver on upset alert, but give them the benefit of the doubt there, but would not be surprised if Buckeye goes on the road. Coach Golap, man, what's your thoughts on the top half of this bracket?
Yeah, man. Madison Prep and like I said, I didn't get to see Buckeye or George Carver today, but I can't see either one of them beat Madison Prep. I think they're just gonna be too talented, too well coached. I think we may be able to say this has become the no, I'm not ready to anoint this the Madison Prep invitation, because you got to respect Vanderbilt Catholic, you got to respect Parkview Baptist, and you got to respect U High, right? But this district obviously is strong. We can say this is the district's invitation, all right? But this district is obviously strong. But I got Madison Prep on the top half of the bracket.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the games may be closer than what people think, but played Madison Prep. I know what they're capable of doing, and I'd have to pick them.
And what's y'all's thoughts on the bottom half? I love this comment right here. Buckeye community will make it a home game. I can definitely see that. I challenge Carver, man. I really do. I challenge Carver quarterfinals. I think this is the first time program history. I'd be shocked if they've made it to quarterfinals before. It's not necessarily known for girls basketball. I've had some runs on the boys' side, not as prevalent as they have been in years past. But man, I would challenge Carver to find. I'll be honest, man. Just for whatever reason, in New Orleans, the crowds just do not show up to games, man. So I would challenge them to find a way to have a crowd. Because if not, you look at this comment right here, this could turn into a home game for Buckeye, and I would not be surprised. And, you got a breakaway layup, and Izzy Cross comes and blocks one into the stands, and the Buckeye crowd goes wild at Carver. That's not a recipe to win. That's definitely a recipe to upset. And I wouldn't be surprised at that one at all. What's y'all's thoughts on the Buckeye and Carver matchup?
Well, like I said, I haven't seen Carver play. I've watched Buckeye play, and they impressed me. I watched them play Maryville, I think, in the season opener, and that was a really, really good ball game.
All right, man. Hey, we're going to move down to the bottom half of this one. The bottom half has already been played. Both these games are done. I do not have a score on that Vanderbilt game, but I do know that Parkview Baptist defeated Vanderbilt. So we will crown a new state champion in this division. I'm trying to refresh and see if there's a score yet. Nope, still no score. But I was told that Parkview Baptist dominated Vanderbilt Catholic. Again, talked about it, man. Parkview Baptist is tough, man. U High also dominated Edie White. U High defeated Edie White 65-24. So rematch of the district title game, Parkview Baptist versus U High. They'll play again. Man, again, if you haven't seen Parkview Baptist, man, they just move the basketball. Very, very skilled, very good defensively. Don't necessarily have the talent, the D1 talent that Vanderbilt Catholic had, but man, they play some really good team basketball, and they've got some young kids as well. Here's Bernhard coming through, 77-37. Again, I'm not saying I called it being that bad, but I'm telling you, man, that was a terrible, terrible matchup for Vanderbilt Catholic, and the Parkview Baptist team, man, they're playing very, very well, very good basketball. I'm sure they don't want to see U High, a team that they've already beat, played 8 times in the last couple of years. But Parkview Baptist dominated U High 61-38 in the regular season. What's y'all's thoughts in that rematch? Does Kennedy have something to say in a rematch there, or Parkview Eagles get steamrolled, man? What's your thoughts, Coach Golat, man? I know you got some friends watching from Parkview Baptist, man. That they want to hear what your thoughts are, man.
Hey, listen, Parkview, I called it the other night. I said that you were going to steamroll Vanderbilt Catholic. I said it. I said it. I said it. So I'm with you on that one. Now, it's kind of hard. I don't know what the game plan could be um, when you're at home and you get beat by 23 against University High, U High, right? I don't know what the adjustment can be because you're not going to be at home. You're going to be on the road, right? In that environment. Of course, I know you've been in that environment before, and once you get on that court, anything can happen, right? But it looks like it's going to be a tough pill to swallow. I'm not gonna say you're gonna get steamrolled Parkview, but
No,
I will
Parkview,
go.
hang on. Parkview beat U High by that much.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm sorry. I apologize. I was looking at it wrong. Yeah, I'm not gonna. Well, yeah. So I will go. Parkview will steamroll.
I love it,
Parkview
man.
will steamroll their way to the finals, man. I'm on the other side this year.
I love it. And hey, one of the best juniors in the state, man, is gonna be on the other side of Miss Kennedy, man. Where I was talking about it earlier. She scored 2,000 points, probably on her way to score 3,000 in her career, averaging I think high 20s points per game. So they'll definitely have their hands full and trying to slow her down. Um, Coach Tracy, you have any thoughts? Have you seen either of these teams, Parkview Baptist and U High?
Not a one. I have not seen them. Just know the tradition of both of them.
And we'll kind of get into it a little bit more in our next one, but that's why I really want to kind of get into like the names. Anna Richardson from Parkview Baptist, she signed going to Loyola, which is an absolute steal. Just as a pull-up jumper, as smooth as the other side of the pillow, as I like to say. So they got a kid that can fill it up. You can give it a basketball, 1-2 pull-up jumper. But man, they're a much better team top to bottom as far as sharing the basketball, moving the ball side to side, defensively. You see it right there. to hold Vanderbilt Catholic to 37 points. That's impressive, man. Parkview Baptist has definitely put everyone on notice. They did lose to Madison Prep in the regular season as well, so that's something to keep an eye on. But nonetheless, man, district title, district game rematch, Parkview Baptist versus U High. We'll get into that one a little bit later, man. Again, Anna Richardson's a name to watch. Kennedy Aldridge is a name to watch, and Haley Hurst. I like Haley Hurst for U High as well. That'll be definitely some names, some people to keep an eye on. The little Bernhardt is back there for Parkview Baptist as well. So we'll get into all that at the next episode. But congratulations to both those teams, man. And again, just good basketball, man. Everywhere in the area of Baton Rouge, we're talking about Liberty, we're talking about Parkview Baptist, U High, Madison Prep, all these teams, man, making deep runs. We'll get into the next division now. You got French Settlement, led by Miss Northwestern State signee herself, taking on Richwood, and then you got Ville Platte and Springfield at the bottom. Y'all have any thoughts on these teams? I can dive into them a little bit if you don't, and let's get it going, man. Coach Golat, what's your thoughts?
All right, man. Shout out to Coach Shaw, man. Shout out to Coach Shaw at Richwood. She's done, coach that don't get a lot of the spotlight, so to say, right? She took over that job, and when a couple of years back, and all she's done is just keep her head down and go to work, coach the kids that's in her gym, right? She has a good player within herself, right? Is our kid going to Nichols, right? If I'm not mistaken,
I'm not sure.
Her kid signed to Nichols.
I'm not sure.
May have been an offer. But if I'm not mistaken, she has a kid, that's going to play college ball on the next level as well, D1. So it's going to be a great game. Can they go on the road to French Settlement and win? I'm not sure. French Settlement has been here before. And like I know, Coach knows like I know, experience matters, right? And French Settlement looks like they're catching the number 1 seed. Looks like, they're I would have to lean towards French Settlement on that one. The Ville Platte, looks like Doyle gave Ville Platte everything that they can handle. It took them to overtime. We was ranting and raving. People have been ranting and raving about Ville Platte, but looks like Doyle went in their Ville Platte's home, and I've always heard Ville Platte is a tough place to play. And so to take them to overtime, that's a great feat. Ville Platte comes out of there. I haven't seen Springville, so I'll leave that to you to go with Ville Platte or Springfield.
Coach Tracy, have you seen any of these guys? You have any feedback?
Well, I saw French Settlement this summer, and I saw Ville Platte this summer. French Settlement, very, very impressive. They freaking play so hard. They did so well. I don't know much about Ridgewood, but making that trip to French Settlement, they need to get ready because it's not going to be an easy task. Ville Platte has a lot of guards, and I've watched them play, and they're athletic. Springfield, I don't know much about. I knew the Ville Platte game would be a good one. Doyle's always well coached and always going to be prepared. The bottom part, I have no idea what Springfield has whatsoever, but that looks like it may be a pretty good game.
Great comment right here. Again, guys, appreciate all the comments. Definitely helps a lot. Springfield defeated Doyle in district by 15. So that's definitely a great sign for Springfield, as now they'll have the home game defending Ville Platte. Ville Platte's a younger team too. I like the where that program's trajectory is going. Coach is doing a great job over there. Here we go. Coach Johnson, man, appreciate the feedback. Yeah, definitely a very young team, and hard guard play is serious. I agree exactly. That's exactly what I was gonna say. Their guards win games. You're gonna need some guards to go on the road and make some buckets. This is a good one. Like we're talking about, once you get to the quarterfinals, you get to get really great coaches, staffs, guys that are gonna live in the gym. Springfield does a great job. He's done a great job turning that program around. I can't remember the last time they had a home quarterfinal game. I don't know if there ever was a time. So hopefully the community rallies behind them. And then, going up to that French settlement game, we keep talking about French settlement year in, year out, and a lot of pressure on that French settlement Lions team and Stella and all those guys. They've had their hearts ripped out the last 2 years by Westlake. With last second buzzer beater, the Twin knocked it down last year to send them packing. We talk about losing a home quarterfinal game. Is that a bad taste in their mouth from last year? Hopefully they bounce back to use that as motivation. Because, again, we're talking about cutting the nets down. I would imagine that they had everything ready to go this time last year. And Westlake went in their house and ripped their soul out from them, man. So I'm sure, and I would imagine that they're going to be as motivated as possible. Hopefully that they get off to a great start. I would imagine French Selma's going to try to up the tempo, up the pressure, try to really get out to a good start, calm those nerves. Because, man, whenever you're expected to make it to the top 28, 2 years, 3 years in a row, and you come up short a couple times in a row, man, you start to feel that pressure building a little bit. So French Selma did their part. They got the 1 seed, a little bit easier route there, but Richwood's definitely going to give them a run, man. Richwood's made some deep runs here. I see French Settlement getting out to a good start there, cruising to a victory. And then we get down to that bottom part, man. Like Coach Johnson was saying, Ville Platte's got some kids that can take over the game, some kids that can make some buckets. Yeah, Ville Platte's number one, man. I hope she gets a good night's rest because if she does, man, that's going to give them an opportunity. But Springfield's battle tested, man, with the Doyles and the French settlements, and talk about those districts again. Springfield's well coached and battle tested, so I would lean towards Springfield. Both home teams coming away with the wins here. Both home teams cutting down the nets. It's just so hard to go on the road, man. The quarterfinals. There you go, man. Coach Thomas, shake it up. No doubt about it. No doubt about it, man. We'll get it down to the bottom half of the bracket. There we go. We're talking about Westlake, team that just finds a way to get to the top 28 year in, year out, man. Twins graduated. Roussel steps in, and she's really taking that team under her belt and to a new level. What's your thoughts here, man? You got Westlake at the top. I see Westlake continuing the momentum and the experience and getting back to the top 28 with the home game. They went on the road last year in the quarterfinals, like we had just said, and upset French Settlement. Now they got the home game. I think they defend home court. Roussel's going to lead the team with about 18 points and about 8 blocks. And Westlake advances. And then you got the future McDonald's All-American Caroline Bradley in herself taking on Red River. Red River's definitely got a lot of people in the chat, a lot of fans. You're going to need all of them. But unfortunately, you can only play 5 people at a time. And Caroline Bradley might need 5 people to defend her. Coach Golap, man, what's your thoughts, man? Westlake and Gina, and then Red River and Oak Grove.
Hey, man, listen. Like you said with Westlake, man, and graduating the Twins, right? People thought they would just fall off, and here they are. Just find a way every time. I remember. I was thinking. I can't remember. I was making schedule and going to Ash tournament, and it's like Westlake's gonna be there. You want to play Westlake? And I was like, she said she's gonna be down, and here she is in the finals, right? So it's another team that these coaches, I think, they're just doing it the right way, and hard work pays off, man. I got Westlake doing there. I'm a graduate of Red River High School, but and as we speak, my mom's sitting here texting me, "You better be nice," and she's on watching, and she's a Red River fan, and she's saying, "Everybody's picking that girl to beat us," and so. That's the talk here now is about Caroline Bradley, and I keep telling them it's nothing against Crawford. It's nothing against Coach Kim, what she's done this year. Let's just talk about Red River, right? And where they were the last 2-3 years, and everybody's overlooked them, and she's just built that team up, and they pretty much got everybody coming back. They graduate 1 senior, but everybody that comes back would play meaningful minutes will come back next year. But we're talking about freaking Gatorade Player of the Year for the next 2 years. Miss Caroline Bradley. Miss can wake up in the morning and choose what school she wants to go to, right? You know, generational talent. And it will not come around and you know, get out to Oak Grove if you can, or get down to Hammond because you know, Caroline Bradley. I keep telling everybody, standing there last year, getting ready for our state title game, and I look up and the score is 46 points. Oak Grove has 46 points, and she has 42 of them. You know what I mean? So it's not that I don't think Crawford can handle her or whatnot. I just think she's going to be too much for Red River. And I think they steamrolls a little bit. I'm not gonna. I'm gonna take it easy on my alma mater, man. But I just think Grove is gonna be too much for Red River.
I love it, man. Coach, what's your thoughts, man, on the bottom half of this bracket?
Well, I've seen Gina play and I've seen Westlake play. Um, you know, Gina's gonna make it a competitive game, but I think Layla Russell is gonna be able to take that game and make a big impact on it. She's gonna be the one that can really turn the tide. You go to Oak Grove. I watched them play last year. Watched them lose to Oakdale. I think they lost to Oakdale in the finals, if I'm not mistaken, and was able to get a look at it. And you know, that's going to be the division we're in next year because we're moving up. And you know, we were kind of talking about it with her. It's almost to the point where you can't let it be a half court game with them. You got to get it up and down the floor. You got to try to get her out of her comfort zone, and you know, hopefully the guards, you know, you got to be able to put pressure on the guards to make the entry passes hard into the post. But she's so tall, you know, I don't know if Red River can cause enough havoc to make the game basically kind of ugly to try to get an advantage there.
Absolutely.
And listen, I'm on, and I see the Red River fans giving it to us in the comment, man. Crawford's dad's on, and he's going in, and shout out to him, man. You know, his daughter is legit. She is legit, and Oak Grove's gonna have to deal with her as well, right? She is legit. She'll play college at the next level. She's legit too, so we can't just talk about the jump that she's made from last year to this year, right? If I'm game planning, man, if I'm Coach Kim, I am getting after Oak Grove's guard, and I'm going to make it hard for them to get the ball to Carolina. It's kind of like Oakdale did last year. And then when Carolina found out, that's when Oakdale pulled off. But I'm going to make their guards. I'm going to make this game about Oakdale's guard. I mean, Oak Grove's guards, and say, hey, we know what Carolina is, but we're going to make you guards have to be guards, and you're going to have to play ball, and you're going to have to want to do something with it instead of just turning it and trying to throw it to Carolina. That's my game plan. If I'm Red River, can they execute that? Red River has the guards to get after people. I know they kind of they're athletic, so if they can cause havoc on Oak Grove's guards, I think, you know. But Carolina's Carolina. I don't care that she lost last year. Carolina's Carolina, and until somebody showed that they can stop her, you know, I'm gonna go Oak Grove.
Yeah, no doubt. And, you know, shout out to Oak Grove and Coach over there, man. He's done a great job with scheduling, and they're just continuing to challenge themselves. They go on the road and play at John Curtis. Again, Oak Grove is so far north, you can throw a rock and you can hit Arkansas. They travel all the way down south to New Orleans, play at John Curtis. And that final score is 49-41. So that's what you're talking about. We talked about that already, for the top guards in the state on one team at John Curtis, and they weren't even really able to necessarily slow down Caroline Bradley and Oak Grove. You would imagine that that's the toughest matchup that they can possibly have. You know, guards win games, but man, Caroline can put the ball on the floor. Caroline can hit the three ball. We've seen that as well. A young lady got a gold medal this summer, and I'm telling you right now, man, she's got it on her mind, and there is zero chance that Caroline Bradley allows her team not to make it back to Hammond. Zero chance. If I'm a Red River fan, congratulations. You had a great year, man. Get your popcorn. Enjoy the show. It's going to be a once in a lifetime opportunity to go against a young lady that will win 3 Gatorade Players of the Year. This is something that your kids will be like, hey, I played against her while she's on TV. Like, she will be the player that's on TV, the McDonald's All American. She'll be Naismith All American in college. She is that good. She is the best post player in the world. The entire world. There's nobody, no prospect in girls basketball that is a better post player than Caroline Bradley in the world. Just enjoy the show, man. Have fun. Enjoy it. Don't get frustrated. But kid's gonna have 20 and 20.
And last comment, Chris. I think Red River, I think had to probably be the like a gut punch when they saw the new classifications came right, and Oak Grove came up, if I'm not mistaken, right? Did they? Did they come up or they stayed where they are? One of
I
them,
think I
right?
think they stay the
I
same.
thought no, Oak Grove. I'm thinking about next year. Oak Grove is coming down, right? If I'm
Yeah,
not mistaken,
Oakdale
Oak
went
Grove
up.
is coming down to the big people. Yeah.
Correct.
So yeah. So maybe if you don't get past it this year, you're looking good. Next year, you're bringing everybody back. You won't have to deal with her next year. You know what I mean? So that's the positive sign about everything.
Um, hey, ain't nobody kin to her, man. We just real recognize real, man. You can hit us up in 24 hours, man. 24 hours whenever you get the close
Yeah.
up view,
Hey,
man.
hey, 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 Red River, if we're wrong, yeah, and use it for few. Coach Kim, I saw her saying she was gonna pin this, and this is film. Hey, locker bulletin board for tomorrow on your trip up to Oak Grove. I'm not down your team very well. You have a great team. I just think that Carolina is Carolina, and real recognize real. I'm not doubting Red River at all. But real is real, and shout out to Red River, had a great season. You know what? I think they'll have an even better season next year, and we can look for them probably in the title game next year.
No doubt, man. Then we got the LCA Invitational, man. Rocking and rolling up next, man. Man, shout out to Coach Rogers, what he's done over there at LCA. No Jada, no problem last year. Top prospect from this year's team, Nickel signee, Kalia Samuels, tears her ACL. She goes down mid-season, and LCA continues to rock and roll, man. They are the top seed, the team to beat here. I think there's no doubt in our mind LCA cruises in the top part of this bracket. They'll advance to another trip to the top 28. And then you got De La Salle and Menard. Can Carly and company hold off Miss Brown at De La Salle? What's your thoughts there?
Did I lose y'all?
Nope, you there?
Yeah. What was you saying? I cut out there. I apologize.
You good? I'm just saying. I think we're clear on LCA advances there, man. What's your thoughts on that bottom half of the bracket here? Can Carly and company hold off with Menard? Can they hold off Miss Brown and De La Salle? Or does De La Salle make another trip? And Menard again caught with their hand in the cookie jar, not able to get through the quarterfinals. What's your thoughts here?
Man, I like De La Salle. I really do. I like De La Salle and what the kids doing at De La Salle. It's gonna be a tough go. I'm not saying they're gonna walk over Menard. I'm not saying Menard's gonna walk. I think this is gonna be an interesting game, and it's just about who shows up, right? De La Salle having to make the trip up, right? And yeah. But I'm gonna go De La Salle though. I may be wrong, and I, crystal ball broken is so. But I'm gonna go De La Salle. I apologize.
And then we're looking at the last round games, man. De La Salle not necessarily had their hands full, but not as easy of a matchup in that second round game there. They did defeat Pope John Paul, man, but I was trying to watch the Menard game, and man, before I could even really get the game up, they were up by 25, 30 points in the first half. So Menard seems to have it on their mind. Crystal Ball's got Menard in this one. Again, just home court advantage. Menard went on the road last year at Sacred Heart, could not get the win on the road. Now they got the 4 seed. They're the home team. That's why I'm leading towards Carly and company. I think they get it done, man. Too much on the line there with that senior. I think they rally behind her. I think Carly has a big night. If De La Salle can keep her off the boards, I do know Carly got into some foul trouble last year in the quarterfinals, and I think she fouled out of that game down the stretch. So that's definitely something to keep an eye on. Maybe the same thing could happen again. That would give De La Salle a much better opportunity. But it's definitely going to be a fun one, man. That's one of the fun ones to keep an eye on there. We'll move down to the bottom half of the bracket. And again, I think we see two teams, again, that cruise to the top 28 for the second year in a row. As you got Sacred Heart, historic run last year, made it to the state championship for the first time in program history. I think they're going to win this one again. Again, they've got some seniors, some kids that came back from last year. I see them winning by double digits, and then Rose Pine as well. Geo Next has had a great year, but they're just not quite on that Rose Pine level. So we'll see Rose Pine and Sacred Heart in the semifinals. What's your thoughts there, man?
Yeah, I agree with you 100%.
Now,
I agree with you. Coach Kelly's Coach Kelly's done a great job. He's got them rolling. Don't look like they're going to slow down anytime soon. I agree with you 100%.
and that'll be a rematch as well of the game semifinals of last year, which was Sacred Heart defeated Rose Pine of 43-40. So something to keep an eye on. Possible rematch in the semifinals, and it'll be a fun one. And on the top half of that, if De La Salle does happen to win, they will also be a rematch of their semifinals. And look, De La Salle went on the road last year and won. So De La Salle went on the road last year and won in the quarters. You're picking De La Salle. I'm going against them. We'll definitely see if they can go on the road and win quarterfinal game for the second year in a row. Now we get into the nitty gritty here, man. You got Midland on the top end here. White Castle seems like every year they're in the quarterfinals of the top 28. So definitely a historic team there, man. Midland's just at another level, man. If White Castle had a different draw, maybe they were at the bottom half of this bracket. I could see them sneaking through, but I think Midland, Lady Rebels, just on a mission here. They're definitely the favorite, in my opinion, to win this division. Then you got Logansport, East Feliciana at the bottom, man. Crystal Ball is already out. Crystal Ball has Logansport and Midland advancing. What's your thoughts and your feedback here?
Well, I got Midland advancing. I do. I think we called the Logansport game against West St. John. We called it right. I knew that the pressure playing Logansport twice this year, their pressure is relentless. And they just keep coming and just keep coming and just keep coming all night long. I think having played now East Feliciana and played Logansport, I just think, don't get me wrong, number two, don't know her name. We just played her, we scouted her, played her in the first round. She's legit. She's legit. And they have another kid, number 23 from East Feliciana, who kind of make their show go, right? But it's the other players around them too that we were kind of able to bottle up that I think Logansport will have, will be able to do some things that we weren't able to do. And I think I like Logansport there to get to the by East Feliciana. When I left there, shout out to Coach, and they beat us fair and square. You know what I mean? But when I looked at the bracket, I was like, if anybody's got a chance to beat East Feliciana, it's definitely Logansport in the style of play that they got. Logansport and Midland is going to be fun in Hammond. Going to be fun in Hammond. And before I see the red on, if they just want to know who Caroline Bradley is, her highlights are on Instagram on Fast Break of her killing Winfield. Okay, so
That's fair. That's fair, man. And we're not gonna skip over Midland, White Castle. We gave Midland a little bit of shout out with the last run. We'll definitely expect to talk more about Midland in the top 28 in the next round. But man, shout out to Logansport and East Feliciana, man. Deep runs, teams that are not normally making deep runs, opportunities to make it to the top 28. Coach Tracy, man, what's your thoughts here on the top half of this bracket?
Well, like I said, very familiar with Midland. They have all the pieces. I think job done. Y'all did call it. Y'all said Logansport's pressure was going to be a little too much for West St. John, and I haven't seen them play. If they can pull up and the upset and beat East Feliciana, them in Midland would be a good one then, because they're going to need all that pressure against Midland.
Absolutely, man. That's gonna be a fun one. I think that's what the crystal ball's got. I think that's what we will end up with. But look, man, you got a home quarterfinal game. East Feliciana's already up 10 before the game even gets started. And we'll move on down to the bottom half. Again, guys, we appreciate all the comments. Definitely keep those rocking and rolling. You got Arcadia home game versus Lake Arthur. We've been ranting and raving about Lake Arthur, and that's the reason why this whole part of the bracket is kind of skewed. Really a big reason why Logansport's got an opportunity to make a deep run. Lake Arthur should be on the top half of this bracket. They slid down to the 6th seed. Something definitely very, very scary there if you're Deasia Alexander and company. Man, Coach Golad, man, I'm gonna put you on the record, man. I know we got one guy from the north, one guy from the south over here. What's your thoughts on this one, man? Arcadia versus Lake Arthur. Are you sounding is that the upset horn going?
I'm leaning. I'm on the fence on this one, man. I was just talking to a coach tonight. Our boys had a tune-up game, and so I was talking to a coach that came in that has, is in our division, same division, and him and I both agreed that, to me, Arcadia just doesn't look like Arcadia from the last 2 years when, they kind of found them. We knew Arcadia was going to be there, right? Here we are this year, kind of questioning. Like Arthur has guards that can just pull it up from, oh Lord Jesus, lights out, right? And I think if anybody can get Arcadia a run for their money this year, it probably will be Lake Arthur. It's gonna be good. I'm gonna be interested to see what the score is when it comes in, right? Man, I want to say from the north, I'm going Arcadia. But something telling me as a coach and as a basketball mind that Lake Arthur may win this
one. Both teams scored 60 points in the first or the previous round, so definitely can get up and go. Coach Tracy, what's your thoughts? I know you've been a big fan of Lake Arthur and what coach is doing over there. What's your thoughts on that game?
Well, like I said, Grant does a great job. Always has things prepared. I just feel they're going to have to continue to shoot the ball well. That's going to be a big thing. Defensively, he'll have his game plan together. He'll know what he wants to do offensively, but they're going to have to shoot it well. But that's another game that I'd like to see.
What as a coach, you talk about shooting it well like that. How many threes do you think that they would need? Again, you're talking about going on the road and winning in the quarterfinals against a team that has state championship hardware. How many threes do you think realistically that they would have to knock down to give themselves a chance?
Well, I think that has a lot to do with the pace of play.
Yeah.
And like I said, I have not seen Arcadia. I know Lake Arthur will push it up and down the floor. It's you get to the point where, if you can make 9 to 11 or 12 threes, depending on how many you shoot, you shoot a lot of them. If you can shoot, 28, 30%, you got a shot. I think that has a lot to do with it too. But, I know they shot it well against Homer. Me and Grant talk, and his dad teaches at Bell City. So we talk every day. and he goes to all the games and said they shot it really well. And he said, they'll have to shoot it well against Arcadia. So, we're pulling for them.
I love it, man. And then we got Maryville at the bottom. I've been a big fan
and
of
you know,
Maryville. I feel like Maryville has the firepower to keep up with. Like you talk about Arcadia, or Logansport, or Midland. Despite starting 3 8th graders, here they are with a home quarterfinal game. What's y'all's thoughts there, man? Crystal Ball's got Maryville and the 3 8th graders advancing to get their first taste of the Ham in America. What y'all's thoughts on that game?
I haven't seen Maryville this year. Yeah, I did them on film at the Lagrange thing, I think, right? Shootout Lagrange had at the beginning of the
Yeah.
year, I believe. But I didn't see enough of them late in the year to pick this game right here.
Well, like I said, we them, and I've seen them firsthand, and Coach Stormy does a really good job with what he has because she's got some post players, she's got some guards. They defend well. If I had to pick one thing to probably be there is they don't have a lot of depth, but they don't get in foul trouble. They do a really good job of editing, but defensively they're pretty good. I have not seen Mangum play whatsoever, but can definitely put up some numbers with Canoyer. The 8th graders. I know we talk about 8th graders, and they're young, they're not seasoned, but these 8th graders they have don't play like 8th graders. They have a lot more calmness to them than you would expect, especially as some of them are guards, but do a really really good job of handling pressure and so forth. And Canoyer, when she needs to, she can take over a game. So they're a scary team in this class or this division.
Yep, they definitely got all the pieces, and not very many teams transition as well as Maryville. I can promise you that. And whenever you need easy buckets, Maryville's going to find a way to get a couple of them, man, because they get out and go. They get out and transition for sure. Moving along, man, we'll get into Class B, no, Division 4 Select. So we got Southern Lab Invitational, man. Again, man, shout out to Coach Flowers and the job she's done and her staff taking over for that Southern Lab group. And again, we talked about whenever you got a young lady by the name of Asia Pontan that you can rely on. We give a shout out to Corey. They got some big guys on the inside as well. Got really all the pieces to make another deep run. And I think the Crystal Ball's got Southern Lab as well as Cedar Creek. But man, shout out to St. Mary's. St. Mary's goes on the road, wins in overtime. The highest seed left in the tournament at a 21 seed. And they'll go down to Cedar Creek, man, and give it every shot they got. Man, shout out. That's one heck of a run, man. Cinderella story right there. What y'all's thoughts here on this part of the bracket? Southern Lab, Cedar Creek, that'd be a rematch of last year as well. What y'all's thoughts?
Well, man, listen, I definitely got Southern Lab. Definitely got Southern Lab. But Chris, I'm going to deviate from you there. I'm going St. Mary's. I'm going St. Mary's. I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you why I'm going St. Mary's. St. Mary's has 3 kids that nobody's talking about. Ava Abear, and you have Ava Holland, and she's a junior. Abear is a senior, and then you have an 8th grader. St. Mary has an 8th grader, Corbin Gandy, right? That Abear has lit it up the first 2 rounds of the playoffs. She scored 33 in the first round, 25 the last game. And nobody's talking about her. She holds college offers, right? College. She hadn't committed yet, I don't think. She's a kid that scored over 2,000 points in her career, right? And so, they've just gotten hot at the right moment. I think they have the matchup to match, I think, with Ryan in the inside. They have a big in Holland that I think maybe able to match them. The guard with Abear. And then you don't talk about the 8th grader. I think this may be the Cinderella. We talk about Liberty, but I think this may be the Cinderella story. So You know, Cedar Creek and Coach Martinez them might get mad at me, please, but we're still cool. But I'm going St. Mary's.
Dude, 21 seed in the Final Four to go on the road three games in a row and win on the road would be insane.
I'm going St. Mary's.
That would be insane. Coach Tracy, man, that's a tough act to
Hey man,
follow
they
right
went.
there,
They
man. You got
went.
any thoughts or comments on this part of the bracket?
Well, I know Sacred Heart lost last year to Southern Lab. Lost the year before that, I think, in the semis to Southern Lab. They just keep drawing Southern Lab.
Yep.
And you know, they know it's a tough draw, and you know they kind of familiar with them, so they know what they're in for, and they know that the amount of pressure Southern Lab can put, it's going to be a tough one for them. But I'm going to go ahead and take Cedar Creek. Like I said, they impressed me watching them play this summer. I haven't seen them play, but I like the way they defend. Um, you know, they just really impressed me. So I think it'll be Southern Lab, Cedar Creek out of this part.
And that would be a rematch of last year's state championship game where Southern Lab defeated Cedar Creek. So definitely some more. Well, one way or another, we'll get a little bit of a storyline there. It would be a 21 seed. You heard it here first as they go on the road and upset Cedar Creek. That would be one hell of a story, man. One hell of a call. You'll definitely. I'm gonna leave you out on that ledge by yourself on that one. But but hey, it'll be a heck of a call, man. You had the Logansport one. You might as well keep it rolling, man. Double down while we're at it. But we're gonna move down to the bottom part of the bracket, man. You got J.S. Clark and Miss Taylor. They got things rocking and rolling there. I think that Crystal Ball's got them advancing, as well as Coach Stan Humphreys and Washoe Christian as they punch their ticket back into the top 28 for the first time in I think 4 or 5 years. What you guys see there on the bottom half of the bracket? See anything different, or what some comments you guys have?
No, man, I agree. J.S. Clark gets by me in Catholic, and I'm going Washita Christian as well. I don't see any upsets here. On the bottom, Coach Fuller and Coach Stan Humphreys done well with their squads this year, and so I'll go with both of them.
I'm with you too. I don't see any upsets in this part of the bracket. But Washita Christian and J.S. Clark would be an intriguing matchup to watch. You know, the top 28. I mean, you just can't let Taylor just run wild, and I'm sure Coach Humphreys will have a game plan in it to kind of try to slow it down a little bit. But that's an intriguing matchup.
No doubt about that. It's gonna be a fun one for sure. Let's see. We're gonna Coach Skeeto took 1 year, 20-something seed. Not impossible. Hey, that's good information, man. I appreciate that comment. Said Coach Skeeto took Lakeview to the top 28 1 year as a
I see that
20-something
banner.
seed.
I saw that. I see that banner every day in the gym. They went as a 29 seed.
29 seed. Wow.
29 seed. They made it to the top 28 as a 29 seed. Yes. Yes.
That's crazy.
They
What
had,
year was that?
if I'm not
Was
mistaken,
that
they had the kid Morgan. They had the kid Morgan as an 8th grader that went to Red River. They had the kid, I can't remember what year that was, but the guard that went to Red River named Morgan, I can't believe they had her as an 8th grader that year. And they went as a 29 seed.
wow?
And they got high rolling. I practice under that banner every day.
What a freaking historic run. Yeah, man. So I guess it's down to one of our favorite divisions, Class B. A school by the name of Bell City, the number 1 seed, throws up an 87 ball in the second round of the playoffs. They advance. They're going to take on Anacoco. And then you got Negrete and Zwali. I think that Negrete and Zwali game is going to be a fun one for sure. Coach, before we do get into this one, Coach Tracy, you want to talk a little bit about, just the playoff atmosphere in the Class B and C for people that are watching that are not familiar with the Class B and C atmosphere. Just kind of talk about that and shed some light on that environment.
Well, I went to school at a Class B school. You know, a lot of Class B schools you don't find more inner city. They're more rural. A lot of backing from the community because that's, you get to the B and C schools, there's no football. Their basketball is it. And the following that we have at Bell City uh, and other Class B schools is just amazing. When I say the community gets behind you, I mean it's crazy. Our gym will be packed. We're gonna we 100. We enlarged our gym. We knew we were moving up, and it'll be packed. It was packed the other night against Oak Hill, and just how important basketball is for those small schools and those small communities. It's like everybody in the community knows every kid, uh, to the point where they'll come ask you and talk to and to mention kids by name. It's and I've been in big schools before, and not saying the support's not good. It's just a smaller school has a lot more. To me, uh, the kids are a lot closer. The community is a lot closer. To that point. So yeah, it's amazing. And like I said, it's we're moving up next year, but I'm going to miss that small. Even though we won't have football, we're still a small, and we'll still be okay with the community involvement. But the small atmosphere, whether it be B or C, and even to that point, is just it's amazing. It's something to be a part of. If you haven't been to a Class B or C school playoff game, especially in the quarterfinals, go and watch the atmosphere because it is amazing.
But I forgot, we get to deal with Bell City next year in Division 4, don't we? Oh my God.
Yes, yeah, we get to move up. We get to move up. Oak Grove gets to move down.
Correct. You just coach just God dog.
Before we get into it, man, Coach Golette, you wanna get us going on that Bell City and Coco? You got any thoughts on that? I think the big thing with that one is we talked about it with these districts, man. Just some of the district Class B District 4, where those teams just year in year out have been some of the top teams, and to have multiple teams in the quarterfinals, that's definitely a scary team for Bell City to see. As Anacoco went on the road last round and defeated, got a 3-point win there. Can they go on the road again and defeat Bell City? And then Zwali and the Greet. Someone's talking about that's just a few miles apart. I'm trying to pull that up. But man, that's another district rematch.
That
What's your thoughts on this part of the bracket?
It's going to be tough, like you say, anytime you have the districts that they have. I think it's going to be closer. Just seeing, I hadn't seen Coach them play or Anacoco play this year, but just, our last shows, just reading the comments and the fans saying that I trust them that it's going to be closer than, we may expect. But I can't, I expect Bell City to come out of there on top there and punch their way to Hammond. The Wally and the Greek will Greek has, I can't think of the young kid's name. Greek has a freshman that's been on fry lately. And so I think the Greek perhaps get past that one. I could see Bell City and the Greek in Hammond, America.
And that is appreciate the comment. Those people, they're 25 minutes away. The Great and Zawali, so that is going to be a packed house. Like this comment right here talks about doors open an hour before game, and there's a 30-minute line before that. So people are lining up 90 minutes before the game. And man, I can imagine Bell City's gonna be packed. Zawali and the Greece can be packed. So that's gonna be some really really fun style basketball there. Coach, man, I don't want to get you in trouble, man, but you're free to comment. You're free to pass. Yeah, that is the what you call it, the young lady's name.
No, well, I mean, Anacoco is like you said in that district. They are definitely battle tested. We will definitely have our hands full. I mean, any team that goes and beats Fairview, plays Pitkin close and so forth. We know what they're capable of doing, and that's. I mean, we've been working on it, and hopefully we can do it. That Zawali uh, the Greek game, they're in the same district, and if I'm not mistaken, they split. It was a close game, the last one. Um, you know, that is one. I was talking with Coach Jinks. We talk pretty often, and we said that's going to be one that would be worth the price of admission to go watch. It's going to be that close.
Yeah, this will be the fourth time that they've played. The Greek won the last one, but Zawali won the first two. So definitely interesting, man. And the last one, Negri went on the road and won at Zawali. So having that home court advantage could definitely be the difference there. But yeah, man, this is gonna be fun. We'll move down to the bottom half of this bracket. Fairview. I don't know how many times they've made to the top 28 in a row. It's got to be up there. But the most state championships in the state, regardless of classification, is not even close. Coach Kyle Jinks and company, man, is going to have that group ready to rock and roll. And then you got Pickin and Hathaway at the bottom. Cristobal has got the going with the chalk here. I just think it's so hard to win on the road, especially in these environments like we're talking about whenever the whole community comes out. I'm leaning that way. In order to be the man, you got to beat the man. And Fairview's still the man in this division, despite being the 3 seed. I got them advancing to another trip to their second home in Hammond, America, and Pickin advances at the bottom. Coach Golap, man, you got any feedback on that?
I think it's chalk. I honestly think it's chalk here, like you said, man. Be the man and got to beat the Fairview is Fairview. Pickens having a great season. Coach would probably know more about the halfway picking game. It's down his neck of the woods, but Fairview is just Fairview, man, and you can't pick against. I'm not picking him. I'm not that crazy.
I love it. Coach, you want to go ahead.
If I'm not mistaken, Fairview and Quitman played earlier this year. I think in the Fairview tournament, because I think I went and watched it. Fairview's style of play, and like I said, people are starting to emulate that as much as possible. Because if you don't, you can't play with them. And Quitman's one of those teams up north that come down and play to try to gain that advantage. To be able to play at that speed, and coach does a really good job at Quitman. He'll have his hands full, and he knows that. The Hathaway Picking game, that's two very well coached teams. Hathaway, Coach Jagno's over there, and he does a tremendous job. He's been successful wherever he's been. Doesn't have that firepower that I think Pitkin does, but they're going to be so well prepared. They defend so well. I think that's going to be one of those pace of play type things. Pitkin likes to play fast. Hathaway can, but they offensively on a half court set, they're really dangerous. They got shooters. They got a guard that can get to the rim. Pitkin is a more up tempo, very physical, not real big, but they can really shoot it. When they're on, they're tough to beat. That one, could be a really good game to watch. It would definitely be entertaining. I can tell you that.
And to this comment right here, Anacoco defeated Fairview. That was in 2016. So it looks like that was the last time Fairview has not made it to the Final Four. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, going for 10 years in a row. So Quitman's got their hands full for sure. But guys, we really appreciate the comments, man, especially once it gets down to this part of the bracket. Go ahead, Coach.
No, I said I was at that game when they lost.
Oh, wow.
I remember it. And Anacoco shot the ball so well, which was what they had to do, But yeah, I mean, like I said, I go watch a lot of games. When we're out of it, I'm going to go watch it. It was a very entertaining game. But yeah, I knew it had to be around 10 years since the last time that they had made it.
And I would encourage anyone that is out of the playoffs, man, to go out, circle one of these games, man. Find a game, especially if you got a young one that is interested in basketball. Man, get them into this environment. I promise you, they will fall in love with the game. We're going to move down to Class C. We got Simpson, man, the Lady Broncos, one of the top teams in the state, regardless of classification, one of the smallest schools in the state, been competing against some of the best teams and top teams in the state. They've got Reeves, not the Reeves of the past, with a transfer and some injuries. They're definitely going to have their hands full. They're a very tough draw. And then you got Phoenix and Evans at the bottom part of this one. Cristobal's got Evans and Simpson again. It's just so hard to go on the road. Phoenix has got some guard play. Have seen them over the years. They've got some guard play, so they've got the ability to put the ball in the hole. They can get hot, but you see Evans as well can also get hot as they put up 67 in the last game. So Phoenix is going to have to keep up with that firepower. It's going to be tough. Simpson Invitational, I would agree with that. As in my opinion, Simpson goes back-to-back state champs here. What's y'all's thoughts on this part of the bracket?
I agree. I agree with you, bro. What?
Well, like you said, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Coach.
Yeah, I got Simpson going to the state title game. It's going to be interesting between Calvin, I think, and Pleasant Hill. That's my two picks. Calvin's looks like they're on a mission to get there to play Simpson. But can they beat Simpson? I don't know. Calvin's pretty good. I'm not going to take anything from them. They are pretty good. But can they beat Simpson? I don't know.
Yeah, Reeves will have their hands full with Simpson. Coach Dronette at Reeves does a tremendous job, and he's had some bad luck. He's had injuries while he's there with ACLs and just different things, and he stuck it out. His kids play so hard, and they play fast. They shoot it well. To that part, Simpson is kind of in a class by themselves when you go to that. And the other game, Evans got some kids that can shoot it, and they can get out there and they can pressure you. I think Evans will pull that one out also. But when you get to the bottom part of the bracket, like what Coach was just saying, it's first of all, if it is Evans and Simpson, I think that's the same district, and I think that that Evans will make some adjustments. I don't know if they can make enough, but that could be a closer game than what people think, to that point in the top part of the bracket. When you get to the bottom part, Coach, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to, kind of like what Coach did a while ago, I'm going to take E-Barb. I think E-Barb has what it takes. They beat Anacoco, if I'm not mistaken, and one girl had 34 points, and they had 3 other buckets, and she assisted on the other 3. They've got a kid that's pretty good. Pleasant Hill does too. They can shoot it. I think that's also in the same district, and I think it was a 3-point game when they played the last time.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm going to take E-Barb on this one. I think it's hard to beat somebody 2 or 3 times in a row. And then, I haven't seen Celine, but I know what Calvin has. I would definitely take Calvin on the bottom part of that.
And this is just a fun style of basketball, both B and C. Like people in the comments are talking about, man, just everyone plays so fast, gets up and down. So it's definitely exciting to see, as Simpsons raise the bar, everyone else, district and common woes are stepping up to the plate, man. And I think Simpson is the clear favorite to win this one. I love what Coach did with her schedule this year. Really went out and challenged themselves, took some L's, and with L's you get better. And I think Simpson has gotten better this year. Last year they rallied off, won a lot of games, really played a lot, and I think you can get displacement there. But Simpson continued to challenge themselves throughout the season, and man, I think that's It's just gonna be tough to beat, man. It's gonna be tough to beat. Saw them in person. They're so balanced. I agree with that. I agree. But whenever you play this many possessions, like a lot of these other teams play, I think that definitely keeps things wide open. But that's gonna wrap things up for us here, guys. We really appreciate everybody, man. Safe travels, everyone. Enjoy the moment for sure. Quarterfinal basketball. Coach Tracy, man, good luck to you guys in Bell City. We were talking about it earlier. We hope everyone's safe on the roads. And hey, Coach Golat and I are both big proponents on cutting down the nets, man. So we hope we get everyone cutting down the nets. And if you guys do happen to cut down the nets and post some scores and all that stuff, please tag us, send those to us. We'd love to share those. We're just a platform that continues to promote girls basketball. So all things girls basketball here, man. Coach Golat, Coach Tracy, y'all want to leave us with any closing remarks?
We'll let Coach Tracy do it this time.
The only thing I can say is we appreciate what y'all are doing. I mean, this is awesome to be able to sit and just talk basketball, recognize a lot of the kids that need to be recognized. It's a platform that has raised a lot of interest. I know my kids watch it, whether I'm on it or not. They're going to watch it. They're going to check the crystal ball. They want to find out, what everybody's saying, and so forth. So I think it's awesome. It continues to that point, but we appreciate what y'all are doing.
No doubt, man. No doubt. Again, guys, good luck to everyone, man. And we will look to be back probably on Monday. So, again, for those that don't know, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, when the top 28 games will be played, those schedules will not be released until they'll probably go out sometime tomorrow. Sometime on Friday. So, be on the lookout for those. We'll definitely post those. But safe travels, everyone, man, and enjoy it. Get some rest. I know we heard the flu's going around, so make sure y'all getting some rest and some fluids, man, because Mardi Gras was a super spreader of that craziness. Cool, man. Until next time, guys.